Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and we are getting ready to do the next piece of our folio journal using the templates. And so we have this piece, which is page 6. I've already cut it out, and I wrote the instruction. It says fold down item, just so you know what it is. And then page 7, you'll want to cut these 3 pieces out. So I'm going to cut these out and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my pieces cut out, and I'm going to tell you a couple of things. These 2 pieces are pockets, and I'm going to cut with my 2-inch punch, a little notch in them to make it look more like a pocket. But I wrote on these inside pocket 1 of 2 and inside pocket 2 of 2, so that when I put this away in the folder, I will know that, you know, there's 2 pieces. So I'll keep looking until I get them both. And then I also need to write on here, page 7, just main kit, just so I can know what's going on if I go into my file folder and try to sort it out later and use it again. Okay, so now these are your pieces, and I want to show you what they look like, so you know what, when you're picking out your paper, what to do. This is the piece we're doing, this fold down piece. So this is actually this piece here. There's a glue tab. This is going to show, and then this is going to fold over and be your flap for your pocket on this side. And then this piece is actually this pocket. So that should help you pick out papers, hopefully. You want something, this is going to show, this is like a showpiece right here, because when you open it, that's it. So if you have any things you've, found things or paper you've designed that you really love and you want to show off, that would be the perfect place for it. And I have a piece from an old sheet of music that I would like to put there, I think. Let's see if I can find it. I'm picking out the pink stuff primarily for this one. I've got this that I kind of want to put somewhere where she shows, but she may be too tall. If I put her there, and what I think I might do is I think I might cut a piece out of cardstock, like another piece out of cardstock, and then just cut a piece of this out and glue on there, because this is fragile and it's going to chip and break, and so I don't think it's strong enough to actually make that out of it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So let me get a piece of cardstock, and that is, let me see. Is this how your stuff works? It's just like my stuff just keeps getting buried, and I pull things out and then I can't find them. Oh my goodness, there it is. Ooh, that was back over here in my stack of papers. That could have been a while to find that. I could go downstairs and print another one on this paper, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just cut one out right here and now. I know there's 1/2 inch glue. So I hope y'all are having a great day. It is sunny and hot here in Arkansas in the 90s. And fortunately, we've got a wind or breeze that keeps the humidity from being ridiculous. So that is nice, although the wind has been kind of crazy too, because it's been so strong. You go outside, you can't hardly keep your eyes open for very long because it hurts your eyes. But okay, so I'm gonna pull this out and find my mark, score that, and this is should be the 1/2 inch, although it looks to me like I got it off, so I'm going to use the 1/2 inch because I know that's what it should be. And that's my glue, that's my flap. So this goes backwards. This is going to glue on like this, so you're going to make a Z fold kind of shape out of this. So I am going to, and this is how it will glue. So you want to glue it so that when you pull this flap down, this is right side up. So I would glue her on like that. Put it on here. I hate to lose that writing, but that's just the way it goes. Okay, something like that. Making a mark there so I can cut a straight line across that. When I have these old papers like this, I always think about the people who bought them when they were new and how they just have no idea that, you know, 100 years from now, their sheet music is going to end up on somebody's junk journal. But it's still, you know, out there floating around. It's kind of cool. I don't know, that might be, I might be able to make one of the pockets out of that piece. I have to glue it over the top of a piece of stock, paper stock, cardstock, but. All right, so it's gonna glue like this, pull down, and then she will be here. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue her on. Okay, and then this is the flap that's going to come down over the pocket. So I need to think about, this is the pocket, so it's going to pretty much cover the whole thing almost. So figure out what paper you want for that. And I'm thinking I'm going to have this embossed paper. I actually got that at Walmart on sale. And it's really pretty. I haven't gotten to use it yet, so I think I'm going to use that. And I'm going to punch out a little notch at the top here for this pocket. Okay, get my storyboard out. And you want the 1/2 inch. Well, actually, I'm going to do that one, I think. I'm going to do right where that, oh, no, I'm not. It's not going to let me. Okay, I'm going to do it in the 1/2 inch mark. And all these 3 flaps should be 1/2 inch. And so this is the right size. So I'm going to fold these under. Get out my 2-inch circle, and I'm just going to eyeball this. See if I can get a notch in the top that's centered. And then this will glue on here. Don't put it on your glue strip, but right above it. And we'll glue here, and goes all the way up to the top, but right there it'll show. So I'm going to put a couple of strips of washi tape, I think, just so that it doesn't show. Hopefully that covers it. And trim it off. And also, I'm going to ink this side while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so this is going to come down like this. This is going to glue here. And I guess I'm debating whether I want to ink this paper, but I think I will just a little bit on the top edge. And glue it down. Okay, so it's a little tricky here. You got 3 flaps to glue, but just don't try to glue them over a pair of scissors. That's not a good idea. Okay, and that should fold over that. like that. And I'm going to take my round corner punch and clip the edges of this. Actually, oh well. I need to glue paper over it. I should have waited, but that's all right. Okay, so I need to figure out what I want on my flap. And I want to look and see what I got going on here. So it's going to go here and be next to these colors, if you care about that. I'm just trying not to clash with anything. I think that will go fine. So I'm going to take this and trace this over this pink. This is paper that I used my jelly plate to print. And I'm going to use some washi tape. Okay, so I've got that, and then I could cut another piece here, but I think I'm going to do the same thing that I'm going to do on this flap later and stamp on it with my stencils. So I do think I will ink this one. Okay, now this is coming loose because this is just a little bit too tall up here. So I am going to trim it off. And trim it off over here too. So I don't have to worry about it binding. Ink that. And re-glue that so that it's not buckling. And that gives it just a little bit of clearance there. So there's my pocket, and it's going to be right there. And so I'm going to fold this back, and it's going to go here. And actually, before I do that, this gets circles too. So I'm going to come back to these circles we made and pull out a set of 4. 2 of them are decorated and 2 of them aren't. And get out my awl again and my punch and make a little circle on the center. And the second set. Get out my crocodile. Make sure I got the right punch. Line it up as best I can. And then get my little brads and figure out where I want these. So I want one probably about there. And, you know, I forgot this brad was going to be here. I might cut a piece of paper to cover this, actually, just to cover the brad. And then probably like right there. Reach under there and carefully pull the prongs apart. Easier said than done. This is a little tricky, but you can do it. If it pulls off, just re-glue it. And actually, I might just pull it off myself. So basically, do whatever it takes to get the bread on there. You could do it ahead of time before you glue this flap on, but you know, to me, it's always a little dicey as whether it's going to line up and stuff. So I like to do it when it's all put together. Then figure out which string you want. I think I'll use this black string and tie. Put it in the middle of the 2 circles. Tie it, double knot. Trim it off. And figure out how many of these you want. How many circles, you know, how many times around you want is what I'm trying to say. That ought to be enough. And there's that. And now we're going to glue this on. And this glues, put the glue, make sure you get it along that fold edge really well. And put it here, and then make sure it's gonna, you don't want it to bind on here, so be sure you put it a little bit up from the fold. And make sure, see, that way you know it's gonna fold straight up. If you try to do it just down here, you can get it this way. So be sure you're checking this fold here and make sure that it lays right and lays the way you want it to. And I think I might clamp that actually and let it dry. And I will work on my other one. Oh, one more thing. We've got pockets to put on. And so before I stop, I think I want to look at this and pick out my paper. So when this opens, you've got these 2 pockets that are going to go here like this. And so you want to make sure that you have paper that you like that goes with everything. And I was going to see if this would work for the small one. It's kind of raggedy. I don't know if I want to, I guess I could glue it down. Maybe I will use that for that. I'm going to cut a dummy out of the scraps of cardstock and just attach that paper because it's so fragile. So kind of what I did before. So I'm just going to cut myself another little small pocket here. Okay, so now I'm going to glue my very fragile paper to this. Trim off what's on the edge. And since this is, I'll ink that, so that will help hide the parts that don't have, kind of disguise them so it doesn't look bad, where these little pieces of paper flipped off. And then I'm going to use the edge here without the, I'm going to use this edge to cut the notch because it's a little more stable. So I think I might mark this just so I get it right. So this is 7.5. So 7.5, 3.5 and 1/4. So about right there's the middle. Okay. So something like that. Okay. And then ink that. And there is one of my pockets. And then I need something for this. So this will be on top. So I need something probably pink. That's too much like that. I could use this again. That'd be maybe a nice contrast. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay. So it's going to go like this. You're going to stagger them. So figure out where you want it. And this shows right here. So I'm going to run a piece of washi tape there too, just to disguise that. So I still didn't get that corner. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim that back. Like that. And ink that a little bit. And that won't show. Okay, so now back to gluing the pockets on. Okay, so you're going to put your big pocket first and the little pocket over the top. So I'm going to put glue on these 3 edges. And I want that probably about here. Something like that. Put a little bit more glue there. Take this one. Oh, I don't want that all the way up. Sorry, don't do that. It's just going to go down here. Okay, so put it on these 3. And then make sure you check where the fold is. Don't go too far past that. Or, I mean, don't go past that at all. That would be bad. And there's your second pocket. And I'm getting something sticking out up here. So I'm going to trim that back. That's that flap. Didn't need to be quite that big, but I'm going to trim that off. And I think it's probably going to still show a little bit, so I'm going to come around here. Actually, it doesn't look bad, but I could ink it. Just, it's all about hiding and disguising everything. Anything that doesn't look right, just stick some washi tape on it or some ink, and no one will ever know the difference. Okay, so what we have is, here's your flap, there's your 2 pockets, and this isn't wanting to stick to that handmade paper very well, so I'm going to put a clip on that. And this will go up like that, and I think that's sticking okay. So I'm going to lay this aside now for real and go to the next one, which is sort of turning out to be the masculine one. All right, so back to these basic pieces. So this one, I'm going to unclip that, and this will go inside here. So I need to find, I had a piece that I thought was pretty cool. It was a map. This piece is just scrapbook paper, but it looked like a map that I had put some tea on, and I put some gesso on, just dabbed it on to make it look a little more used. And it's really thin, so I think I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to make a dummy or a base out of another piece of cardstock. So let me grab that. Also, don't forget you can take these pieces over to the sewing machine and put stitching on them if you want to, and that would really make them look awesome. This will be your flap down. So kind of want to think about, where do I want the map to be? Like, do I want it to be on this part, or do I want it to be when it folds down? I think I'm going to do it where it folds down. Let's see. Make this readable. And I like that piece up there with the water. I like that up there. The Gulf of Mexico showing. I think I'll do that. Doesn't look like a super accurate map, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna line this up. All right, so then you need whatever your flap's gonna be. And I've got this brown paper. I got this brown paper that's really cool looking, and I'm gonna, wish I could leave that rough edge, but I'm afraid that might not work out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut my flap. I can see that ink line. Actually, I could leave that irregular edge. I think I will. And then trim this. Edge there. And then I'm going to glue a piece of washi tape, just so there's not any. For one thing, it keeps the paper from catching and tearing later. And the other reason, of course, is to cover up any white flashes or anything like that. Okay. Trim that off. Okay, and so this is what we're left with. So then I need to figure out what I want my pocket to be. And I mean, I could always fall back on the blueprint again, but I don't think I want to do that. So I'm going to look for something to use on this pocket. Maybe some Tim Holtz paper. Let me see what I've got. I think I'm going to use this. See if it's big enough. Yeah, it's big enough. And then I'm going to maybe stick some Tim Holtz paper on it. We'll see. So this is going to glue like this, and that will glue on here like a pocket. This is probably going to need to be trimmed off like the other one. So I'm just going to use my scoreboard. Let it give me a place to cut off. Okay. See if I can see that well enough to... Oh, and I need to cut a notch. So let me... This pocket is 5, so center of it's 2.5. Or you can eyeball it. I think I eyeballed it last time. Okay, so this will glue here. So I'm going to put some washi tape up here, like I did last time. Go ahead. I may have to tear it up later to get my brad fence done on the circles. But that's all right. Okay. And I think, actually, I'm going to run a strip of this up the middle. And in case you're wondering, yes, I could have done that before I glued the pocket down, but you know how that would be too simple. I have to do things the hard way. So plan accordingly. If you want to make a pocket out of all sorts of things, you might want to glue them all together first. I fly by the seat of my pants, just in case you did not know that yet. And I'm going to go ahead and cut, which I'm really going to be guessing on this. Let's see how that lines up. Pretty good. All right, I'm going to glue that on top of that. Ooh, that's pretty too. That's the thing about Tim Holtz papers. They're so pretty on all the sides. You don't want to cover anything up. And I end up keeping them and keeping them and keeping them. And never using them. All right. So that is a stronger paper, and that will support that brad and circle better than just that thin scrapbook paper I had. This, I could come back and stamp. And actually, you know what I could do is just use some more of this. If you're a planner, you could plan this all out ahead of time and not have to struggle with it later. Pretty happy about this though, because I'm going to get to use this rough edge. Okay, so that's going to go there. Excellent. So these journals are very different looking from each other, which is making me really happy. And I haven't really done one that's super masculine looking, I don't think. I don't consider them to be, so this is something different for me. Okay, awesome. And that gives you that double edge there, so that's cool. And so now we need to put our circles on. See if I can find circles scattered to the wind. These. All right, so. And these we made on the other video. If you're not knowing where we came up with these, I think this was on the last video that we did the circles all at one time for a change, which is wonderful. It wasn't fun making them all, but now I'm glad I did because I don't have to stop and make them every time. You know what? I'm gonna use a ruler. 2.5, so something like right there. Put my all through the holes and then put it there. Poke it through carefully. Put the brad through. And then the second one, got them both. Punch the hole in this one. If you don't have a punch like this that punches through a bunch of layers, it's no problem. Get you a piece of foam and your awl and just poke the hole. No big deal. It needs to go here, down here somewhere. So I'm going to make a mark here, maybe a little further down, like right there. Okay, so I'm going to stick the awl through this layer and then put the brad in there, and then just like I said, I'll probably have to pull it loose to get it to spread the feet on this thing, but that's usually I can get it to go. I can find there's one foot that sticks out farther than the other and you can flip it open, but okay, got it with my fingernail. Okay, all right, got that. Make sure this is still there. If you need to, just re-glue it, no big deal. And string. And there's that pocket. And so now we're ready to glue it in. Glue it on, and then whatever shows up that you don't like, just cut it off or cover it with ink or washi tape or whatever you need. Make sure that it's straight with your fold and doesn't impede it when you fold it over. And oh yeah, I'm going to cover that with some washi tape too. Okay, so now we need our two pockets, and I've got some of this matte paper I think I might use for, let me see. The thing is, it doesn't really show up. There's not enough contrast between these two papers, so I don't want to waste it because I don't think it's going to look that great. I mean, so I need something with more contrast. So I think actually the brown paper might work again for the big pocket, and then put one over it That way I will get some nice contrast, I think. Oh yeah, and I need to see where the center is, and so this is the 7.5. So I need it to be at 3 3/4. There's the center. And so that'll go there. And now I can put one, actually I could put, I think I'll use the music. So again, I'm repeating this music paper, so it'll make it kind of all tie together. And once again, I think I'm going to have to cut a piece out of some other cardboard, of cardstock. Okay, so now we're ready to glue these in. That far up. And then glue this one on top of that one. And look at your fold and put it just above the fold so that it doesn't bind. And there are those pockets. Okay. And I'm going to put a little clip on that one, I think. Do that, and that is done. All right. So we got the bottom flap done today. Hope you enjoyed watching that. I hope it wasn't too crazy. And I will see you soon. Oh, be sure and click like or subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.